Deaths of two Wilkes County firefighters.
The Wilkes County Sheriff's Office says one firefighter claimed he accidentally shot and killed the other, then he killed himself. Deputies say they responded to a shooting call at a home Tuesday night on Caudill Road. When they arrived, they say 21-year-old Daniel Long was doing CPR on 19-year-old Jenna Bowles. He was saying he accidentally shot her.
After EMS took over, they say Long went out to his car and shot himself. Both Long and Bowles died from their injuries. In a Facebook post, the Wilkesboro fire chief said the two were in a relationship. Both were firefighters, and Bowles came from a long line of firefighters. Her father served in officer positions at volunteer fire departments, and her grandfather was a fire chief for the Roaring River Volunteer Fire Department.
In the Wilkesboro fire chief's statement, he said in part, "The time ahead will be tough for all of us." Jenna and Daniel touched many lives and had a larger impact than they ever even knew. The Wilkes County Sheriff's Office and the SBI are investigating. And we're also on top of developing news out of Charlotte. Carowinds reopened the Fury 325 ride today. This is video from just about an hour ago as riders got back on it. For nearly a month, the roller coaster was closed after a park goer noticed a large crack on the ride's track. Carowinds says the roller coaster was repaired and it passed the final inspection by the State Department of Labor following hundreds of tests.
Now to the huge wildfire burning in Hawaii today. We learned startling new information. 36 people have died when the fire destroyed a tourist town on the island of Maui.
Leaders are also saying fires have burned more than 270 buildings. The wildfire is now one of the deadliest disasters in Hawaii's history and the deadliest in America since the 2018 Camp Fire that killed 85 people in California. Right now, there are 3 fires burning.
The first one started on Tuesday, and high winds from a hurricane off the coast is spreading it. Witnesses have called it apocalyptic as some were forced to jump into the harbor waters to avoid fast-moving flames.
Woke up this morning and got on our phones to pictures of our house just down to the slab. Nothing but smoke, cinders.
It's going to take years for fix. Years. This is not even the worst of it. Still get dead bodies in the water floating and on the seawall. They've been sitting there since last night. We've been pulling people out since last night, trying to save people's lives. And I feel like we're not getting the help we need.
Hawaii's state capital, Honolulu, is preparing to take in evacuees from other islands.
Former President Barack Obama, who's from Hawaii, is showing support. Last night he tweeted, "It's tough to see some of the images coming out of Hawaii, a place that's so special to so many of us. Michelle and I are thinking of everyone who has lost a loved one or whose life has been turned upside down."
Efforts are already underway to support people who've lost everything. WFMY News 2's Giselle Thomas met a North Carolina man trying to help his family there.
When you see the destruction left behind, your heart breaks for those who are impacted. For a North Carolina man, the fires hit even closer to home because he has family on the island.
To see it totally destroyed, it just breaks my heart.
Brian McKay runs a Facebook group with more than 1,000 people with ties to Hawaii. His tie, his family who lives on the islands.
We were able to locate one part of our family there. There are some other relatives that we haven't been able to get in touch with.
When the fires broke out and cut communication, the group sprung into action. Maui is the second largest of the islands of the state of Hawaii. As historic Lihana burned, evacuations were quickly ordered, meaning communication was crucial.
She was saying that she couldn't get in touch with her sons and relatives in the Lahaina area, but she has sent a message to us saying that they were okay.
When it comes to helping those on Maui, I spoke to a representative from the Salvation Army who says within a few hours they have started feeding individuals through their mobilized stations. Samaritan's Purse is closely monitoring the situation and will jump in when needed.
So sad.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely. I mean, just the whole thing. I mean, and also hearing the man who spoke in the previous story as well too, how he said, you know, that this is just, you know, devastating. It's going to take years for us to repair. It's just emotional.
It's interesting, and we'll explain this in the later shows, but the hurricane that went by close by there, the winds around that system is what fueled that fire. And trade winds, which are normal there, 10 to 20 miles per hour, but those wind gusts of that hurricane were 70, 80 mile an hour wind gusts, and that just made the fire go crazy. So sad.
Pushing the need. I wanted to say, for those mobilized stations, a representative from Salvation Army told me that literally, as of last night, they were able to give food to about 50 people, and that's continuing now across the island. So those stations are very much needed for people in need.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. All right, let's talk about the forecast. Different situation for us, right? We're watching a couple of isolated showers here or there moving across the area. It was heavier this morning. I don't know about exactly where you live, but most of us had some heavier showers that were really strong for about, what, an hour or two as it all worked its way across the triad. Temperatures now, and I want you to look at this. You see the dividing line here, basically, right? You get down to Asheboro, it's 82 degrees, but if you head north, it's 76 in Greensboro. So the northern half of the viewing area having more rain-cooled temperatures right now than folks to the south. In fact, go all the way down to Troy, it's 86 degrees there. Meanwhile, it's 69 in Ashe County and Jefferson. So big differences. A little bit breezy, not bad. Winds 5 to 10, mostly out of the west, and some of the gusts have been upwards of 18 to 20 miles per hour across the region as well. Here's what the rain looks like now. What's left, just an isolated shower or two. Guilford County actually seeing a lot of that. And we still haven't seen the cloud cover break. So this might help us in not seeing a late day thunderstorm develop. We're still watching, but if this cloud cover hangs in the way it looks like it will, I think by the time it clears out and we were to get some clear skies, we'll lose that heating of the day. So we probably won't have a lot of thunderstorm activity. Here's what it looks like on your 7-day, up to 87 for Friday. It's reduced rain chances, only at 20%. That is not a lot. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A warmer weekend in the low 90s, 91 and 93. We're in the upper 80s Monday, Tuesday. Best rain chances Monday afternoon, pop-up thunderstorm, and then we dry out again. 85 on Wednesday, partly cloudy, no rain chance. That's probably the best day of the week.
This morning's wet weather even impacted the Carolina Panthers at training camp. Early morning storms canceled today's joint practice with the New York Jets. Now the Cats will shift their focus to Saturday's preseason game, where we should get our first look at rookie quarterback Bryce Young.
That's right. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson caught up with head coach Frank Reich this morning. Amanda.
Yeah, Sydney, Chad camp ended a day earlier than expected, but today's practice with the Jets was going to be a quick one anyway. The teams got most of their work in yesterday. Head coach Frank Reich shares his thoughts on camp overall.
I want to start by just thanking all the fans that came out here to Spartanburg over the last couple of weeks. They really brought a lot of energy and enthusiasm to our practices. The guys felt it. I kept hearing from people around here at Spartanburg, you know, how good the crowds were. And so really fun for us to interact with our fan base like that, and hopefully the start of good things. You know, and then it was unfortunate that we had to do what we did today as far as no practice with the Jets, but you know, we'll look forward to the game here on Saturday. But really good training camp for us.
Unfortunately, had to end a day early, but I mean, yesterday was a really good day at practice. Bryce Young went up against the Jets defense. That's a top 5 defense in the league. They were top 5 last year. And he looked really good. There was one pick he had, but it was hardly a pick because it fell into the hands of DJ Chark. It just, he kind of bobbled it, but, you know, and it's only practice, but it was more intense, and it's the first time going up against somebody other than your team.
And a nice, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that, you know, seeing everybody in the audience there, you still saw quite a bit of green too in there, all there, I imagine, for Aaron Rodgers.
Well, and you know, there's a lot of Jets fans kind of all over the country and in Carolina, so this is your chance to see this team if you want to, and to come out there in Spartanburg. There's so many people.
I'm just ready for that first quarter, you know, when your starters are actually in a preseason game before they pull them. I just can't wait to see Bryce.
Yeah, we'll see him for a little bit. Head coach Frank Reich said we don't know exactly how long. I imagine it won't be much, but it'll be a good experience for him and good to see him.
Yeah, good stuff. I was about to say, I love seeing all the people out there too, just having fun and excited for the season, and check them out.
People to see Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, but also the Panthers. So many Panthers fans out there.
You've done this for a few years now. Would you say that there were more fans there this year because of Bryce Young, or do you think that it was about the same as it's been?
This training camp is the most I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I would agree that the excitement is through the roof for him.
Nice.
And the fact that he looked as good as he did. We were all on the sidelines just talking about how he looks pretty good.
Poised.
Awesome. Well, Saturday's preseason game will impact some of our regular programming. The game starts at 4 p.m., which is right in the middle of our coverage of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Golf coverage starts at 3 p.m. To make it work at 4 p.m., golf will move to our 2.2 channel for people who see us over the air. And if you've got Spectrum, it's channel 1255. Our regular channel will air the Panthers game at 4, and we'll have highlights from both events that night at 11.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup now. Today, North Carolina A&T revealed the results of an 8-month study on its economic impact on the state. It shows last year the university made a $2.4 billion impact on the state economy. It factored operational, student, and research spending.
The whole point about this is that we're doing many things right at North Carolina A&T as it relates to the growth of our students, the types of students we're bringing in, and also those who graduate, because that economic impact shows that North Carolina A&T is making a difference, a big difference for the state for the whole state.
And it's getting even better. Leaders say it's a sizable increase from 2018 when the impact was $1.5 billion, so about $1 billion less.
And there's a possible breakthrough in the fight against drug-resistant superbugs. A decades-long investigation out of Duke University found a new antibiotic strategy to defeat bacteria like Salmonella. Scientists developed a synthetic molecule that attacks the outer layer of the bacteria, destroying it by jamming its system. They say the next step is to test the molecule's safety and efficacy in humans. We'll be right back.
All right, I'm talking about laziness. Okay, great, thanks.
Maybe today's gloomy, wet weather has you feeling kind of sluggish. Well, how perfect for National Lazy Day. In a world of getting things done and achievement, it seems odd to have a day that promotes laziness. But should we be celebrating such a day? Blanca Kopp is here to talk about it today. Blanca, how can being lazy impact our decision making?
When you are running fast paced and you're really busy, sometimes you're in a position where you make decisions on the fly, on the spot, which means you're not really thinking them through. But when you are more laid back and you're slowing down, then it gives you a moment to pause and to reflect and make more thoughtful decisions because you're taking the opportunity to really think it through.
What's the relationship that many see between creativity and being lazy?
Great question. And a lot of times when you take a break from active thinking and active problem solving and you go do something else, you're giving your mind an opportunity just to unwind and to reflect. And what happens is your subconscious takes over. And when your subconscious takes over, because your mind is still working, even though you're not actively thinking, a lot of times it boosts and increases that creativity, which means that you can think of more than one way to solve a problem. And sometimes you have some insights that you haven't thought of because you're just going really, really fast.
I don't know about you, but when I take a lazy day, while I enjoy it, I also feel kind of guilty about it. Should we be cautious about having lazy days?
Absolutely. Look, we all need a mental and physical break. We just do. Our bodies are not constructed to go constantly. That's why we require sleep. That's why the doctors say you should get a certain number of hours of sleep, because it's so restorative for your mind and for your body. But the problem is you can get too comfortable with the more lazy days that you take. That means you're not going to get as much done, or you're not challenging yourself, or you just might be putting in the bare minimum. And it makes it hard to move forward and achieve the goals that you set out for yourself in order to progress further in life.
So maybe only once in a while. Blanca, thank you so much for your insight today. You can continue the conversation with her on Facebook. Just search Blanca Cobb, body language expert. We'll be right back.
Temperatures are a little deceiving across the area because it really just depends on whether you've seen the rain or not. I mean, if you look regionally, everybody looks like they're on the same page, right? 76 in the Triad, Asheville only at 80, only 4 degrees, in fact, warmer, right? But then that's because we're seeing the rain. Some of the showers have been, most of them have been from, say, Greensboro and Winston-Salem north, then to the south. So Asheboro and Troy and Lexington's temperatures are 6 or 7 degrees warmer than even Greensboro and Winston-Salem right now, all because of the shower activity. Now that will leave, and we'll see clear skies overnight once all this pushes through, and it may take a while, a few hours before that happens, but we'll see those overnight lows going down to the upper 60s, we think. A couple of leftover light showers or sprinkles in Forsyth and Guilford County, and the rest of that, some of that won't make it over the mountains. You know, when we watch precipitation come from the other side of the mountain chain as it goes up the Appalachians, sometimes it rains itself out on the west side, and then the east side is just left with what we call sinking air, and that basically kind of squelches out the rain. So this will probably be on the decrease in the next couple of hours, and then after that we'll see some gradual clearing. It just takes a while for that to happen. So this front moves through, high pressure in place for Friday. Boy, is it nice on Friday. Lower humidity for a while as that high moves across our state, but then just the opposite. On the backside of this, all that heat starts to come in because remember the winds around a high pressure are clockwise, so that means our winds will shift a little bit out of the south. It'll tap into some of that heat, and we will see a hot weekend. We look at 68 with rain leaving us and gradual clearing overnight. 7-day forecast shows highs going up to 91 and 93 Saturday, Sunday. Those rain chances are very slim for that warm of a temperature, but let's keep a 20% in there just in case. Monday, a better chance of a late day storm in 89. We go to 87 Tuesday. Rain chances kind of dry out for Wednesday. That's a beautiful day. Partly cloudy, no rain chance, and 85. Then we're back to 87, which is normal by Thursday. Nothing? I haven't touched it. Why? What's up? Pop it up. What in the world? I don't know. Looks like Kevin Lipford's been spying. Is that that's the JP building, the old JP building?
Changes are coming for iPhone users, and it might take your thumb a while to adjust. Apple says one of the new updates will move the end call button to the bottom right side of the screen. If you have an iPhone, you know it is currently at the bottom middle. Another new feature is called the name drop, where users can share contact information by placing two iPhones near each other. The update is expected to come out next month.
And coffee and Target lovers can rejoice about this one. A pilot program between Target and Starbucks is about to go nationwide. Right now, when you place an order for Target Drive Up, at some locations you can also order Starbucks to be delivered to your car. Target plans on rolling out the service to all of its 1,700 plus stores. with Starbucks cafes in October. It will be free for all shoppers.
That writer's strike in Hollywood is beginning to affect one of our favorite shows, Jeopardy! Producers say season 40 will go on, but with recycled questions and former contestants. One producer says it wouldn't be fair to have new contestants on the show with material that isn't original. The new season kicks off next month. I suppose it was only a matter of time, right? But I'm curious to, I hope that I will look smarter by some of these recycled questions because I've heard that before.
I remember that one.
Well, I still feel like maybe it'll still be challenging, possibly.
Sure. I mean, there have been 39 seasons, so I mean, you could take questions from season 1 and recycle those.
That's true, which some may be outdated if they're like world record thing, or whatever. Yeah, interesting. I guess that, they work ahead, so they tape multiple shows a day, I think, for weeks.
That end call button on the iPhone is very interesting. So it's not going to be at the bottom anymore. They're going to put it to the
bottom right.
So like the bottom. I know.
I mean, I guess.
But if they put something in the place of where that is, you're going to hit that button 1,000 times until you get used to.
And I read the story, and they are going to be putting all the other, like a lot of the other buttons down there in the same location. And then apparently they're switching the mute button with the speaker button. They're flip-flopping them. Sometimes I wonder what companies are doing.
Are they trying to challenge us, or just like, what is going on?
There's some consultant somewhere that got paid to do a study, and then that's because I don't know.
If they don't come back with any suggestions for changes, then why did we hire the consultant, right?
And also with the Starbucks and Target deal going on, I know that they were saying it'll be in October, which is very exciting if you like the pumpkin spice drink that people go crazy for. So that'll be exciting.
Anytime you have a Starbucks drive-through in any company, people are going to be there. So, that's a great marketing group kind of thing.
The way that I thought of it when I first heard this was, well, it's about time they get in line with Harris Teeter. I mean, Harris Teeter's has Starbucks in their stores and have had them in there for a while. So good job, Target.
Awesome. We'll be right back. Give me a Starbucks.
Right.
Hi there, welcome back to the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton with Chad Silver and Sydney Moore. We'll kick off our next half hour.
Yes, yes, yes. And you know what, Eric, we've got to talk about this weather because, I mean, it was coming down earlier today.
Yeah, mid-morning or early morning-ish, 8 to 10, really heavy. Ooh. Did you get it at your place?
Yeah, so I woke up, I think probably around 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Heard the pouring rain and just did this.
Yeah. For some, it's very relaxing. For others, it's like, go away, please.
So I, working the late shift this week, so I'm getting up later than I normally do. So I'm laying in bed, same thing, like around 9 a.m. Bottom drops out. And my little girl opens the door, Drew, and she's 10. And she walks in and she goes, Dad. And I was like, yes, what? Because she was out there watching TV or whatever. She goes, it's raining really hard. I said, we're going to be okay. Why don't you go in there and watch TV?
She's like, let me know when it starts coming into the house.
Right, okay. Now then we got something to talk about.
Then we got some problems.
That's exactly right. All right.
Let's talk about it.
Let's get to the forecast. And we're going to see some of the showers we're seeing now are nothing like what we had this morning. I know enough to prompt my daughter to tell me it's raining. Tell the weatherman that it's raining. 76 degrees in Greensboro right now, 79 High Point. Look to the south and not that far down the road, right down 220 from Greensboro to Asheboro. You jump up 6 degrees. That's because we had more of the rain, still have the rain, in the northern half of the viewing area. Now that's really messing with our Hold Me To It forecast, which if we had hit 82 in Greensboro, we'd be fine. So that's who gets the rain and who doesn't. That's the way it works in the world of weather. You see a couple of scattered showers still in Guilford County, but a lot of this is now starting to retreat. And if you go out to a bigger shot here, you can see there's not much left behind it. And a lot of this rain that we see over the mountain areas may not even make it here. It'll rain itself out on the other side of the mountain. So that front will move by. Look at the high pressure. And remember, when a high is to our north, right, we get a cooler, slightly cooler. It's really not so much about the temperature as it is about the humidity levels will be lower for tomorrow. Temperatures will warm way up from where they were today, at least for Greensboro because of that rain. But when you look at that overall lower humidity and upper 80s, that is a beautiful day. And I think Friday is going to be one of the best days we've seen in a while. So 87 for that high on Friday. The rain chance is about a 20% of a late day pop-up storm. We'll keep that 20% through the weekend, but we get warm, hot this weekend, 91 and 93, back to the mid to upper 80s next week with a more normal late day rain pattern for Monday, Tuesday, and drying out on Wednesday and 85.
Surprising news today from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, also known as NOAA. Scientists have upgraded the hurricane season from a near normal level activity to above normal. They're now saying the U.S. could see 14 to 21 named storms that could result in 6 to 11 major hurricanes.
And you got to check this out. This year, volunteers at North Topsail Beach are using sophisticated technology to monitor baby sea turtles.
The Karen Beasley Sea Turtle Rescue and Rehabilitation Center has begun using hydrophones, normally used to listen for dolphins and whales, to listen for movement from the sea turtle eggs to determine when they might hatch. They're even using temperature data loggers to more accurately predict the sex of the turtles, since their sex is determined by the temperature of the sand the eggs are laid in.
Sea turtle conservation is the long haul. It takes 25 to 35 years for a loggerhead sea turtle to be reproductively mature. I started with this project 27 years ago. My first hatchlings are probably not yet reproductively mature. So all of this technology that we're using and that we're contributing to the larger scientific database is important.
However, to be able to track the nests, they first need to be protected from humans. On Wednesday, a new reusable and biodegradable sea turtle nest tape was unveiled, which will allow the location of nests to be marked so beachgoers know not to go near them. Keith Dorman, the founder of Love Thy Turtle, which created the tape, says the tape doesn't just protect the eggs, but teaches the public as well.
Sea turtles have been nesting on these beaches for over 1 million years. I mean, it's mind-blowing. It really is when you think about it. And so, to me, the most important is to help educate the beachgoers, because it's happening right before our eyes. For 1 million years, this has been going on.
And here's a look at how they are helping the turtles at the Carolina Beach. Can we see it just a little? We'll step out of the way. There you go. Okay, a nice view. So this is how they're helping the turtles at the Carolina Beach. And our very own Tim Buckley just took these pictures as he is spending some time off on the coast.
It would be so cool to see something like that, right?
So
For sure.
Holden Beach they're all about this. So if you go to Holden Beach during the summer, they have a whole protection program for sea turtles, and you see those little things marked off all along the beaches. That's to me is one of the best beaches to go to see that.
What I thought was really fascinating was how Tim was describing, he described it on Facebook, and you probably know this too, about why they have like such dark alleyways, because the lights from the city can cause them to turn toward the city and travel that way rather than travel out to the ocean.
Yeah, that's why the town of Holden Beach takes this so seriously that they don't allow back porch lights if you have oceanfront property.
Interesting.
So at night you have to go with a flashlight out to the beach. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Learned something new today.
Yeah,
definitely. All right, well, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. In High Point, the Walmart on North Main Street will be reopening after receiving new improvements. The store is hosting a ribbon cutting ceremony at 8 a.m., followed by a community celebration for people to present grants to local businesses.
Novant Health opened its mother-baby unit today at Forsyth Medical Center. It's the last phase of the maternity care project. Novant says it also improved the labor and delivery unit and the emergency department.
A new study shows that long-term use of some acid reflux drugs could be linked to dementia. The study showed that folks who took proton pump inhibitors for more than 4.5 years had a 33% higher risk of developing dementia. Researchers say people should talk to their doctors before changing treatment.
The VA has extended the deadline to file claims related to burn pit exposures. Vets can now file claims for health benefits through Monday. The deadline was extended because of technical problems with its website. Leaders say veterans should get checked out even if they feel fine.
And not only did the writers' strike push back upcoming shows, but now it has also pushed back an award show. The 75th Emmy Awards is postponed to January 15th, which is also Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It was originally supposed to be in September because of the strike. Actors and writers cannot campaign for their shows or do promo interviews. The strike has now been going on for 3 months, and there seems to be no end in sight.
Do you leave electronics in your car when you get out? Well, you might want to reconsider that. Criminals are using a new technique to find electronics in cars.
We're aware of a trend where thieves are using Bluetooth technology to track down electronic devices that are being left inside of cars. A thief would take a Bluetooth scanner, much like this, and walk up towards a vehicle, and we can see changing signal strength on Bluetooth devices. And by walking around a vehicle, I can often target where that device might be located and its approximate signal strength to know I'm going to steal from this vehicle, not another vehicle.
Well, police suggest completely turning off devices or taking them with you because some devices still show up even in sleep mode. I never would have considered that. I don't really leave electronics in the car, but it's crazy that they now have technology where they can detect a device in the vehicle.
Just kind of watching just the presentation of the law enforcement officer there. I mean, hopefully somebody would catch somebody, you know, with their arm reached out in their phone, because it's very obvious, in my opinion, that somebody is doing something that they're not supposed to be doing.
What I think they're doing is pulling up beside the cars, and because you don't have to be that far away. You don't have to be like this, right?
Yeah.
And Bluetooth will go,
That's a good
20
point.
feet.
Or-
I'll bet they're just right beside and checking to see if they can link up.
Or at the same time too, I mean, think about how many times we report on people getting things stolen from their unlocked cars in the middle of the night. I mean, you know, if they're brazen enough to check a lock on a door, I'm sure they're brazen enough to just hold a phone over the car, right? I mean, I imagine this happens at night, not during the day.
Yeah, probably true. And I know back in the day, thieves used to run around and try to get on your Wi-Fi, and they would park near the front of your house and then see if they could get in and get into your like bank information and all that. And if you left that administrator password that comes with a router that most people don't change, they would spray paint a mark on the curb so that the next thief knows this house is accessible. That's how bad it was.
My
Like
goodness.
a ring of people that did that. Yeah, change that password. We'll be right back.
It's a conversation that's really taken off over the past few weeks, the possibility of aliens.
Yeah, a lot of people online claim the government solved the mystery. Our Verify team clears up the confusion following a dramatic hearing about UFOs.
If you've been online at all recently, you've probably seen people saying that the U.S. government has confirmed the existence of aliens. The claim started popping up after a former federal employee made some dramatic statements in a congressional hearing. But what did the hearing actually reveal or not reveal? Let's verify with these sources. First, did the U.S. government say aliens are real? We can verify, no, it didn't. Some individual former members of the military claimed they had either seen evidence of non-human aircraft or believed they had seen such crafts themselves in flight. But no government organization has announced any evidence or belief that aliens have been found on Earth. That said, we can verify that Congress and the Department of Defense are investigating UFOs. A few years ago, the New York Times published accounts from Navy pilots who said they saw unexplained aerial phenomena, UAPs, the official government term for UFOs. Congress demanded more transparency from the Pentagon about similar reports, and a DoD task force was created to review them. Since then, a number of congressional hearings have been held to discuss the findings and the task force's operations. So, did the task force find any actual evidence of UFOs? The answer to that one requires some context. UFOs or UAPs can refer to anything in the air the task force can't clearly explain. A lot of the reports end up being space junk, weather balloons, or even Chinese drones. Some they don't have explanations for, but that doesn't mean they're alien spacecraft. The most recent hearings have attracted special attention because of this man, David Grush. He's a former Air Force intelligence officer who calls himself a whistleblower, claiming the government has found non-human vessels and even non-human biomatter. He says the government has been collecting this evidence for nearly a century and covering it up. His testimony was under oath, but he didn't provide many details, repeatedly telling the committee he'd only tell them in a classified briefing. It's unclear if such a briefing has taken place. Here are some key points about his testimony. First, he did not provide any physical evidence to back his claims. In fact, at no point in these hearings has any physical evidence of aliens or documents proving a cover-up been presented. And second, he didn't even claim to have seen any physical evidence himself. All his testimony was hearsay. In other words, stuff he says other people told him when he briefly worked with, but not for, the task force. That means it's possible he misheard or misrepresented what he was told, or that the people who told him misrepresented what they saw, resulting in a sort of game of UFO telephone. Experts say testimony like this is actually not uncommon in American history. Dating back to at least the 1950s, there have been federal employees, including high-ranking military officers, who have claimed a UFO cover-up. But none have ever been borne out by evidence, and many were similarly dependent on hearsay. So, are we alone in the universe? That's one mystery we cannot verify. But there's been no actual evidence presented at these hearings that aliens are real. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Yeah, I don't like that image behind him. All right, so we asked you on Facebook if you believe in aliens, and if so, why or why not. Kenny says, I don't believe in aliens, but if there are any out there, it's our government or other countries eavesdropping and watching every move we make. Don't like that idea either. William said, in the vastness of what we don't know about our world and have explored in space, I think there's a definite possibility that there are other life forms. This is the best one of all. Deland posted, they're out there, they pass by all the time, but they lock their doors because this is a rough neighborhood. That's the best line ever.
I've heard similar posts kind of similar to that same comment.
So they're out there. So I was just talking with City. The universe, if you like science like I do and you study this or whatever, it is so massive, so vast. We can't even fathom how big it is, and there is no way that we're the only intelligent life form in the entire universe. Now, have we made contact? I don't know. I don't know about that. But I know there's mathematically, I think it would be ridiculous to think that we're the only life form.
I definitely think that that's a possibility.
I do too.
I agree too, and I watch Netflix just came out with a documentary about the James Webb Telescope.
Yes, I watched that.
Yes, it's incredible. I really can't wrap my mind around how big the universe is.
You remember when they compared what the old pictures look like from the Hubble and then the James Webb, and all of a sudden it's like millions of galaxies that we didn't even know existed.
What is it called? I'll have to check it out.
Oh,
No, on Netflix. You just
I
said
know.
it.
I can't remember the name of the show, but it's about the James Webb telescope.
It's about it, but that's not it. Got it. Okay, I'll just type in telescope and something will pop
that's
up.
right. Or James Webb, and it definitely will come up. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Well, it is a night thousands of fans will never forget. Last night, Queen Bee, Beyonce, took over the Queen City as she stopped in Charlotte for her Renaissance World Tour.
Why are you saying it like that?
Because it's
she was
Queen
there.
Bee.
As you can imagine, the city was flooded with fans, and it left quite the impact on Uptown.
Beyonce's love got people looking so crazy right now.
This is the highlight of my life.
The Grammy Award-winning artist making a stop in Charlotte on her Renaissance World Tour Wednesday.
I've been breathing her air since I woke up this morning.
Have a drink in the morning. As the Queen serves on stage, others are serving looks.
I'm wearing me, all made by me. Hard work of gluing every single rhinestone.
Some outfits taking hours.
The rhinestones on the back, they took about like 4 hours to do so.
And others over 2 weeks.
Was coming to work on Saturday, not even working, but doing my best.
It's been great.
As thousands pour into Uptown, the boom in business is felt at French Quarter Tavern.
Yeah, people are tipping well. It's exciting to have this vibe in the city. You know, it's really nice for her to come to Charlotte. It's been great for us.
Showing up as early as 3:30 in the afternoon with double and even triple the amount of revenue from the normal Wednesday. The economic impact has workers like Allison Barros falling in love. People saying they are excited, surrounded by her embrace.
This is my first concert ever, and it's Beyonce.
I've been here for 5 years, and like there's never been something to this caliber before.
Seeing her halo all over the Queen City.
Have anything to live for after this concert? Because what's going to top this?
Queen Bee. Well, okay, so I went to go see her myself, and these are some of my photos. And you know, our producer Aaron was like, "Send me some," and I'm like, "I can't send you 50,000 of them, so I'll try to send just a few." But just like a lot of those folks were saying, I mean, she's obviously so amazing, and it was just such a great and fun experience. So many different people. The atmosphere was electric. Coming from Greensboro to Charlotte, I kind of got out there at a good time. I thought I would be in a lot of traffic, but the traffic was smooth for me to get there.
That's good.
But then towards the time the concert started, which was about 8 o'clock, she didn't go on stage until around 9-ish. That's when traffic started to happen, but it was still such a smooth process. And I have to add one more thing. The outfits I was able to see them in person too. This was just kind of a snapshot of them. It's amazing just the different, different feelings and looks and things that people like to go for to show out when they're going to these different concerts.
I mean, that's a major, like an all-time major concert, right? When you think of Beyonce, Taylor Swift, that type of thing, in back in the day, Celine, all that.
Right.
Those are major events you have to dress up for.
Yeah.
This, I think.
I've never been to like a concert in a football stadium like that. I can't imagine what that's like.
Yeah, and this was my first Beyonce concert as well too. My sister has been to 2 of her concerts, and she said it's gonna be great. But just like you were saying, I mean, all of just different artists who haven't hold concerts at these stadiums. You're used to maybe football, but seeing it in a concert atmosphere is definitely different.
I love the stage when they bring the stage out into the crowd
Isn't
like
it
that.
so cool?
Like that one. Yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
I saw a video. Was she riding a horse like through the air?
Yes, it was a glittered horse. Actually, I should have gave Aaron that video because I took a picture of that. Yeah, she was riding it over the
like
stage.
over the people.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember if it was over the people, but maybe
at least
so.
The video I saw was it.
And it was so pretty and sparkly. It was just
all right.
it's amazing.
Googling that as soon as we go to commercial
pretty
break.
cool. We gotta check it out.
That's crazy. All right, let's talk about our forecast for you real quick as we see things changing for us and for the better, right? So we had the heavier showers this morning. Boy, they really were heavy, weren't they? And then it just ended up with this. A couple of leftover, just residual showers. And I think as we head into the night, we'll see some gradual clearing. It actually end up being a pretty nice overnight low. 68 tomorrow morning when you make your way out. If you have to head anywhere in that 7, 8 a.m. time period, you'll probably be right close to 70 degrees. And gradual clearing, so looking good. Friday's perfect. I think Friday and next Wednesday, probably the best 2 days of the 7-day. That high pressure to the north will make it feel a little bit cooler with lower humidity, but beautiful Friday. That 20% probably won't happen. 87 on Friday, low 90s this weekend. Rain Monday afternoon, so some storms in that, and 89. And look at next Wednesday. Partly cloudy, no mention of rain, and cooler with a high of 85. Hey, mic check, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Hi there, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire.
Hi there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hi there, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, testing, test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, test, test.
Hi, mic check, 1, 2, 3, mic check, mic check.
I have it, I just turned it on. Can you hear me now? It's on now. Okay. Ooh, I need to print out stuff like that actually, just like you. No, girl, I'm gonna be just like you and do that as well. Hey, thanks. Hey, sorry.
It happened again this week. Another adult trusted to take care of kids arrested and accused of sex crimes against them. We have seen so many of these types of cases lately. Teachers, an assistant principal, a martial arts instructor, and religious leader. I can't imagine what parents of young children are thinking when they see these stories on the news. Obviously, you want to protect your kids from people who want to do them harm or take advantage of them, but you can't be next to them all day, every day. So what can you do? We've all heard how sex offenders groom young kids, so how can we as the responsible adults combat that? I don't have kids, so I feel I can't speak too much on the topic, but I imagine the best way to keep them safe is to make it clear there are adults out there who have bad intentions. When I was a kid, I don't recall ever having a conversation with my parents about stranger danger or anything like that. Maybe we didn't need to have that type of talk back then. Clearly, it is a different world we are living in. Dare I say, we go as far as teaching kids about these things in school like we do other subjects. We teach them about the dangers of drugs and alcohol. Maybe it's time we also teach them about predators. That's just my 2 cents. And your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
We are on top of breaking news right now on WFMY News 2 at 5 o'clock. We have learned more about the tragic deaths of 2 Wilkes County firefighters.
Deputies say one was shot and killed and the other took his own life. Deputies responded to a shooting call on Caudill Road in North Wilkesboro on Tuesday night. They found Daniel Long performing CPR